Round going here at Chambers Bay, and we'll begin, Frank, at the first with a par 4.
496 yards. Obviously, that'll stretch anybody out there. That bunker down the right is very much in play. The fairway does narrow out, too, just short of that. So this really is going to require one of your best tee shots. Semi-blind second shot, a relatively big green.
Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. Safely on deck.
On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Just a couple of feet. And so just getting started, even par so far. Now to the second hole here at Chambers Bay, and Frank, it is not overly long. Where's the trouble here?
Well, 281 yards really to the big long bunker that goes all the way to the green. So as long as you can avoid that, you don't have to hit driver down here, just something that's going to be a little short of that. You're still only going to have 100 yards, really, or just over 100 yards in for your second shot. A really good chance, too, to get off to a good start. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. He has put himself in an excellent position with a beautiful tee shot. And now a good look at the green. Frank, what's the best way to access the hole location on this second shot here at the second hole at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's really set up with a drive. If you can drive it down the right side, you get a better view. Plus, you can avoid that ridge that's in the middle of the green on the left side. If you're coming in from the left side, that bunker on the right, now you realize why they put that there, because when you've got a skirt to the right of that ridge, that second shot becomes a little more difficult.
Safely aboard, about 25 feet from the hole.
Even par currently.
Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners. Well, if you can call them corners. More like ragtails, but beautiful par 3. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Not quite what he was hoping for, the tee shot in the bunker. Well, in the sand, but it has been raked nicely, looking for something positive. Well, Frank, obviously our gamer is one of the best from the bunkers, but for the average player out there, what's the mistake they too often make when trying to play a bunker shot?
Well, it's the only shot in golf where you're not trying to hit the ball. You're trying to hit the sand first, but it means the club has to go through the sand on both sides. So take a nice little divot with the ball in the middle, follow through. Ball's going to come out every time.
Even par early on. Frank, here on the 4th tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards.
Oh, beautiful swing, and the result is every bit as good.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, the pre-round stretching routines from Miguel Angel Jimenez have become kind of famous, haven't they?
Yeah, I guess cool comes in many varieties now and many colors, but just a gentle start to the day for Miguel.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Now one of the best personalities in the game, Miguel Angel Jimenez, ready for his approach. Well, that's how you play the game, right there. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Still even par for the day. Frank, it's kind of fun to swing away on an elevated tee like this, the 5th here at Chambers Bay.
It looks straight away. It certainly does. And under 500 yards, so it gives you a chance, plus that elevation. You should be able to knock one down there. The whole pinch is in, though, with those bunkers left and right. And there's just one bunker in the front of this green. And that, as you can guess, should be avoided.
Be careful. They call this hole free fall. Now it's right in his wheelhouse, good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. That ball's sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. Well, he's been doing this a long time, all over the world, making birdies. Miguel Angel Jimenez. So into red figures at 1 under. Ready to tee off here at the 6th. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
Well, as long as it's not in the rough, the bunkers, well, there's no trees here, really. That little green strip, that runway down there, another hole that bends to the right, but find the fairway. The fairway's wide enough. You've got a pretty good idea exactly where you want to go. And once again, this is one of the shorter par 4s. So good drive here, just a short iron in.
Setting up for another approach, our featured golfer has continued that excellent play from earlier in the round.
Indeed, there's no better feeling in the world than when you know you're firing on all cylinders. Hitting fairways, second shot's just going straight at the flag. Right now, everything is working. This is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough and into the thicker stuff.
Well, let's see if he can bludgeon this one out.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. In the cup. What a shot. Can't get much better than that. Frank, this is a daunting challenge. The 7th hole, long par 4. It's over 500 yards.
A huge bunker down the right side that probably runs for a good 200-300 yards. Obviously, that's to be avoided. And then, of course, there's the mounds and the hummocks and the dunes and that on the left side. That's the reason, really, why this hole's called Humpback. But then, a little bit like the golf course, there's only one green side bunker to be worried about, but enough green left of that.
Well, that is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
Frank, the approach here at the 7th, and there's a lot to consider here.
There is. The green at the front is much wider than what it is at the back. It's almost like a tooth or a molar shape. So, that front portion, when the flag's there, definitely a birdie hole. Just got to be a little cautious when they put the flag on the back. That's an absolute beauty.
This is the 3rd for Jimenez.
think if we stretch the tape, Rich, we might get to 29 feet.
Settles in over the putt. That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. Well, it was bound to come to an end at some point. Drops just one shot after that terrific stretch of birdies. Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Frank, this one's going too far left, it looks like.
Yeah, it was fine there for a little while, but if it keeps going left, it's doomed.
Pretty good result right there, considering...
It looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward, because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward.
That's well played, and now a good look at birdie.
Really. This is that awkward length.
Not this time. Getting set now over the putt. Wow, almost fell within just a few inches of dropping. Clean this up with a tap. So with that, the score is now at even par. Frank, the 9th hole, called Olympus. I mean, that is very grand sounding, like something that
You're talking Greek god here, aren't you? Come on, this golf course is for the mere mortals, Rich.
Frank, more than a decade ago, this had to seem like such a long shot to host a U.S. Open on a site that was previously a sand and gravel mine.
Yeah, it's unheard of for the USGA to go to a golf course that, was built in 2007. Normally we think a great golf course has got to be 100-plus years of age, but this is where we're proved wrong. Chambers Bay is a golf course, number one, that anybody can play. It's a walk-in golf course, number two. That's really what the USGA stands for. So this is a golf course that's going to host what is the toughest test in professional golf, and also host you and me just playing around for a little hit and giggle. Very few golf courses can do that.
Frank, this is an important approach shot because our featured player was really good early, a little bit shaky of late. This is a point in time where you need to get it back.
Yeah, you almost need to stop, just stand still for a second, almost just flush it out, because at the moment you're starting to look right and left at the trouble. Let's get back to what worked. Let's start looking where we want the ball to go, where the flag is, and start going there.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
The inimitable Miguel Angel Jimenez has this for par. You can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss and a drop shot here at the ninth.
Even par currently.
That's a drop shot. Now coming back down to earth, Frank.
Well, you can only fly so close to the sun for so long before your wings start to melt.
Moving on to the back nine here at Chambers Bay in the state of Washington. I'm Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Frank, what's the 10th hole all about?
Dunes left and right, hence the name High Dunes. Obviously split the fairway there. But one of the factors of true links golf is you normally get to putt in the calm. The dunes protect this green from all the wind, so a relatively flat putting surface. He's gone for a little extra. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
And it looks like Rory Mcllroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through.
There's always advantage of hitting it further than most, Rich, and straighter than most. When you put the two together, it's just straight up a head start.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Not too bad, about 25 feet away. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Jimenez has this one for par. One over for the day. Now on to the 11th, and Frank, we are looking at a long par 4 in front of us.
We are indeed, and it's called shadows, but there is love in the shadows here. Hit it over that dune down there in the middle of the fairway. If you can get it there around the 300-plus yard mark, then the hole obviously starts to get a little easier. That second shot, you'd like to hit a little bit of a cut in here, but there's 2 levels to this green, so make sure you're on the right level where that flag is.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Oh my goodness, he just made that. I cannot believe it.
I was thinking might get it close. And just a great shot.
The 12th here at Chambers Bay is known as the Narrows. What's the play here, Frank?
2, really. You could just sort of iron it down there, have a little wedge or a pitch in there with no sweat whatsoever. Or, if you want to have a little bit of fun, if you can drive it over that bunker that's just short left of this green, you might just putt for an eagle.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Frank, golf may be the best sport to follow from this standpoint. You can get closer to the great athlete in golf than you can in any other sport. You could stand 5 feet from Tiger Woods at a tee box as he's getting ready to drive. I mean, that's really unusual in sports.
Yeah, it's a different type of spectator sport, especially if you follow your favourite player all the way around the golf course. Because it's not like waiting for your favourite hitter in a baseball game. You know, you've got to wait several innings. You can literally see him hit every single shot, drive through the putt.
Locked in on the read and the speed. He got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Just a little tap in here. So, 2 over par for the round. Now at the 13th hole here at Chambers Bay, and Frank, this one bends to the right, par 4.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you have to cut it or move the ball in that direction. Ideally, really, anything down the left side of the fairway would be well suited for this hole. There is a central bunker that sort of protects the front middle of this green. You can go in left of that or right of that. This is a beefy par 4. 4 on the card. Grab the fire extinguisher. Put out that ball is on fire. It's melting going through the air.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut. Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
And from the fairway for his second shot here. Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
So he didn't hit the green in regulation, but he still has a reasonably good chance to save his par, about 10 feet away. One of the game's most lovable characters, Miguel Angel Jimenez, has this for par. That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey, drop shot here at the 13th. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Ooh, good effort right there. Almost made it. Just a tap in to finish the hole. That's messy. That's a double bogey. Frank, now to the 14th hole, and this is the 5th consecutive par 4 here at Chambers Bay, and by this point the players will know whether they're on their game or off their game.
At 546 yards, this hole can be shortened considerably if you choose to take a brave line down the left side. You can chew off as much as 70 or 80 yards. But once again here, because the hole bends to the left, you've really got to know which direction that wind is coming from.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. All right, Frank, what's the play into the green here?
Well, the green's got a little bit of a funnel effect. General contours slope right to left, and towards this green there is a little bit of a ridge and some mounding, short right. But just use those in your favour. The ball's going to do what Mother Nature wants it to do. You don't have to fight it.
Headed for the bunker? Well, we've seen this before today, in the bunker.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Just a couple of feet. Rough day so far, 4 over par on the round. Frank, normally in a golf course, you don't want to spend too much time in the trees, with the trees, around the trees, but part of me wants to go up and hug this tree because he's all alone. It's the only tree on the whole golf course.
Well, I know you're a tree hugger, Rich, I really do. But at 246 yards, when they play this off the back tee at the US Open, believe me, nobody's hugging that tree. They're just trying to make 3.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Getting set now over the putt. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Miguel Angel Jimenez for par. Well, that's just a poor putt, Frank, and now let's hope he doesn't make a Michael Bublé.
He's hardly going to be singing after that one.
So after all that, it's a bogey. Now to the par 4, 423 yards, 16th hole. What's the right play, Frank?
Fairway first once again. You'll see the slope of the fairway from the left to the right side. It means move your aim down that left side. It will make this fairway appear that much bigger. And of course, then when you hit into this green, you're really going to have to flight that second shot properly. This is like a tabletop green. He's winding this one up. Does he have the power, though?
That is a heat-seeking missile right there. Wow.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Frank, how in the world do you explain what happened here?
I don't think you can, Rich. The one person that needs to do the explaining is the player themselves right now. They had a great round going and then completely self-destructed.
Try up next.
It's no snack, though. good roll, good putt.
Frank, you don't need just a caddy out here at Chambers Bay. Seems like you need a sports psychologist. You start thinking about the names of these holes. Beached at 16, and what's 17 called?
Derailed, and you can see why too. That green's perched up there. If you've got the round going in the wrong direction, this is not a hole to start on. So if you've got a run going, it's just a good tee shot that lands around the front there, and you just take a 3 here. This is not a time to be a hero. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot. Second shot.
What a shot right there. Beautifully done. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course. What a great shot.
Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. We'll settle. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from that.
Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Well, this one should be safely on deck here. So maybe a nice way to finish up with a good approach here to the 18th and a good chance for birdie. Let's see if he can make it 3 in a row.
He can't be that good.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
For the par. And that is a round of 73. So for Frank Nobilo and all of us here at EA Sports, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today we're here at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all of the action. Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
We've got a big golf course in front of us today. Robert Trent Jones II designed this golf course really to fit in with these marvelous surroundings. But consequently, we have like what I would call almost an inland links. It's going to play like that. Ideally, you'd like to play this golf course through the air, but it's very exposed to the elements.
Down to the first tee now to get the round going, and a stout par 4, Frank.
Yeah, straight out of the gates. The wind obviously very important here. If you were to play it into a head breeze, this would be just a mammoth hole, just under 500 yards. Fortunately, with a little prevailing breeze, though, it'll shorten up considerably, but will bring that bunker on the right in play. This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Not the best shot, this one in the rough, but still will have a play from there. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think, you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
On the green and in play. Good shot. And getting ready for the putt.
Great sense of speed in that. We know you can make those, but that went right in the middle.
Ready to tee off here at the second. Frank, what's it all about?
Well, you hit your tee shot here through the dunes, Rich, not overly long, just under 400 yards. The bunker on the left really shouldn't be a problem. Just avoid the dunes on the right and left.
ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310. Frank, what's the best way to access the hole location on this second shot here at the second hole at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's really set up with a drive. If you can drive it down the right side, you get a better view. Plus, you can avoid that ridge that's in the middle of the green on the left side. If you're coming in from the left side, that bunker on the right, now you realize why they put that there. Because when you've got a skirt to the right of that ridge, that second shot becomes a little more difficult.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Frank, how did he do there?
I would say more than the average. Inside 20 feet from that distance.
Edwin lining this one up for birdie. So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot. Even par currently.
Even par early on. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners, well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
Well, that one didn't work out. Didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. What a shot.
What are the chances of making it from there?
Frank, here on the fourth tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards. Well, this one has a chance to be really good. Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot.
Looks like it's heading for the bunker.
Just a bit offline and into the bunker. So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well, What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Well, this is how you build a good round, Frank. You just keep hitting greens. Settles in over the putt. Stays at 1 under with that par. Well, Frank, here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. Hole looks straight away, but you'll see it starts to pinch in, that fairway that is, by bunkers left and right, and those bunkers come in exactly where you're trying to hit your tee shot.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. That one is in the bunker. Getting some sand in the shoes now. For a second straight hole, he's in the bunker. Anything you do differently with your setup?
Just dig my feet into the sand a little bit more, but make sure you focus on the exact spot on the ball you want to hit.
Out of the sand and back on the fairway.
Yeah, good shot. Just really utilized that little bit between the ears. Realized he couldn't reach the green and instead opted for fairway.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Might want to check the GPS on a putt this long. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read, and missed out on that second part. This to give up a shot for Pops. Oh my goodness, he missed it. He missed the bunny. That's like missing a layup in basketball. Nudge this one home, finish it up. Putt drops, now at 1 over par. Getting set to hit the tee shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
There's a nice dune down that left side that sort of gives you a good line that you can work the ball off here. But remember, this is a links golf course, so you don't try and fight Mother Nature because she'll always win. So just anything down the left, let that ball sort of kick its way back towards the middle of the fairway. A lengthy par 4, though, at 495. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Now playing the second here at the par 4. should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Make it 2 birdies on the day. On the 7th tee now, it is over 500 yards from the back tee.
Yeah, this is called humpback, and you can see why there's all those mounds and undulations between you and the hole, plus all that amazing bunkering down the right side. All to be avoided, really. If you can do that, then you get a decent look at this green. But yeah, you've mentioned it, 500 plus yards. It's going to play longer than that uphill.
That one is just a little offline, and that will not end up in the fairway. Second shot coming out of the rough here.
This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Frank, in the changing weather conditions, players have so many different options, don't they? Some might like to play it high, others might want to play it a little lower along the ground.
Really got to be on your toes today because of that, Rich, and really that's what separates the men from the boys, so to speak. You know that any mistake you make can obviously be magnified by the wind conditions, but conversely, it's a real good chance for skill to shine.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Just a couple of feet. Still playing even for the day after the par. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realise that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage. Oh, that's fine. Oh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290. Second shot.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Regarded as a very accurate player, that shot says it all. Getting set now over the putt. Man,
I just pushed it.
boy, that hurts.
Even par currently.
Still even par for the day. Frank, the ninth hole is called Olympus. Feels as though Russell Crowe should be standing on the tee, starring in some sort of a movie about the Greek gods.
I knew you'd go like Titans and that down here. But this golf course is for the mere mortals, Rich. This isn't for the Greek gods and the Titans of the world. They might think they are, but this is for you and me. This is for everybody. 36 handicaps. We can all play here.
Well, it looks as though they're going to need to use all their strength to sort of hack it out of that rough. They're missing it off the tee here. Chance to close out the front side here with a birdie.
Really? This is an awkward length. Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo playing Chambers Bay out in the state of Washington in the great northwest of the United States. Frank, let's take a closer look now at the 10th hole.
Well, you can see where you've got to go by virtue of the dunes left and right. This is one of the few greens that is well bunkered around, so you can see it short right, short left, and there's another little bunker just on the left side. So it's a tricky little second shot coming in here. Oh, if this is up, it's good.
Looks to be a good setup going into the green here at the 10th. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
This is a good-looking shot. And so the approach shot finishes up some 25 feet from the hole.
Yeah, not his best, but certainly not his worst.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Edwin Pops Masterson now eyeing a par. Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple, completely wrong.
Hoping to drop only one shot, this for bogey. Frank, he just can't seem to put it together today.
Yeah, really, you've got to go back to that double bogey, Rich, because ever since then, it's been like a different player. And that's one thing that you have to get over, experience-wise. Somehow you've got to let that go, but it is easier to say and harder to do.
Excellent start off the tee. That's a great way to begin this hole. The 11th hole. Frank, what's ahead here?
This is another green that's sort of sloped. There's a lot of little slopes in this green here, plus the green angles from right to left. So it just depends on whether that second shot that lands. You've got to be well aware of what you're landing on. If you're landing on a downslope, it's going to kick forward. Obviously, an upslope, it's going to stop that much quicker.
Offline, and I think that one's headed for the rough. Pretty good result right there, considering...
They look rough all the way,
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Frank, why are great rivalries so important? Why do we love them?
I think because people like to sit on one side of the fence. You're either for or against a great player. And I think we see that today with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. There's the McIlroy fans that think his future is so bright. There's the Woods fans that still want him to pass Jack Nicklaus's record. That's the beauty. You've got to have an opinion, and you have to have a player.
Frank landed it on the green.
It was never going to stop.
No chance. Pretty good shot right there. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
That looked like it nearly got below the lip, the level of the lip there.
Can't believe that one, Frank. That was a complete horseshoe right there. Now he has this for double bogey. So, with that, 3 over par now for the round. Measuring 311 yards, the 12th Frank seems to offer an opportunity for a player to do something pretty dramatic here.
Yeah, it's called the Narrows. Really, it should be called the Temptation, because what player stands on a tee knowing he can reach and doesn't take up the gauntlet?
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
So, Frank, trying to make 3 the conventional way, didn't have a go at this green. What's left now?
Just the yardage. If you've got a good yardage here, then all these undulations in this green really aren't that important. And that's the beauty of laying up. You've taken the risk off the tee and really the risk in and around this green. So a good second shot, distance control, and you're going to be well rewarded.
So with that, they're trying to fight back, now at 2 over. 13th hole now, it's a dogleg right, par 4. Frank?
But at 534 yards, you need an eagle eye, which is the name of the hole, to find exactly where you want to hit this. Doglegs to the right, there is a fairway that's plenty wide to accept a good tee shot. And then from there on in, it's actually a relatively straightforward second shot, providing you can miss that bunker that's just short in the middle of the green.
Frank, it may be obvious you'd rather have a ball sitting up perfectly in these fairways as opposed to the deep rough off to the left or right. But how is a player able to take advantage when he has that good lie?
Well, anything better than that would be sitting on a tee. That is a perfect lie. It almost guarantees good contact. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Not missing by much today, but enough to again be in the bunker. You know how to play this shot, Frank, right? You keep your chin up, you look down your nose at the ball, you have to pick it cleanly, and keep your head still. Frank, what's so compelling about rivalries in sports is that athletes need each other if they're going to go to great heights. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to solidify his legend. Jack Nicklaus probably needed Arnold Palmer to go to a place that he had not been. And I think that's true across the board as we look at rivalries in sports.
I think it defines careers, Rich. It's not until those players retire that they realized how important it was to have that foe. You know, so often we're living in the present, like we are now with Tiger Woods and Rory Mcllroy. And it's not for years to come that we'll realize the sport wouldn't have been the same with one without the other.
That is a painful miss right there. And a bogey, drop shot here at the 13th. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Not his best effort right there. That's a bogey, and now 3 over. Frank, now to the 14th hole, and this is the 5th consecutive par 4 here at Chambers Bay, and by this point, the players will know whether they're on their game or off their game.
At 546 yards, this hole can be shortened considerably if you choose to take a brave line down the left side. You can chew off as much as 70 or 80 yards. But once again here, because the hole bends to the left, you've really got to know which direction that wind is coming from.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. This is the second shot at the par 4. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just ride a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. Masterson has this one for par. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. Just a couple of feet. Been a rocky road to this point. 4 over par on the round. Frank, normally on a golf course, you don't want to spend too much time in the trees, with the trees, around the trees. But part of me wants to go up and hug this tree because he's all alone. It's the only tree on the whole golf course.
Well, I know you're a tree hugger, Rich, I really do. But at 246 yards, when they play this off the back tee at the US Open, believe me, nobody's hugging that tree. They're just trying to make 3.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. And yet again, he has hit it off the tee and into the bunker. Looking to splash this softly onto the green.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Struggling a bit with the flat stick and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. This for him would be 1 drop shot. Well, too bad. He gives one back. Now to the par 4, 423 yards, 16th hole. What's the right play, Frank?
Fairway first once again. You'll see the slope of the fairway from the left to the right side. It means move your aim down that left side. It'll make this fairway appear that much bigger. And, of course, then when you hit into this green, you're really going to have to flight that second shot properly. This is like a tabletop green.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
So, Frank, a perfect lie right here. And now this gives him a chance to take the next step, which is get after this hole location.
Yeah, so many more options now. And basically, it's just going to come down to club selection now. This is absolutely perfect. This is one where he can get a reward from.
High winds, high scores. Let's see if he can put something together late.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
That's good work right there. Just a tap-in. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Trying to get out of here with just one dropped shot. This is for bogey. Bit unfortunate, loses a shot here with that bogey. Frank, you don't need just a caddy out here at Chambers Bay. Seems like you need a sports psychologist. You start thinking about the names of these holes. Beached at 16, and what's 17 called?
Derailed, and you can see why too. That green's perched up there. If you've got the round going in the wrong direction, this is not a hole to start on. So if you've got a run going, it's just a good tee shot that lands around the front there, and you just take a 3 here. This is not a time to be a hero.
That will be a great look at birdie. A birdie putt for Pops Masterson. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Six over par on the round right now. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realise that Chambers Bay was designed as a walk-in golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course. What a great shot. Second shot. You'd think he'd be good at bunker shots. He's been in so many today.
Might want to take a shovel with him. I'll make this about 100 yards. Third shot. Frank, you play the game at the highest level. You know it doesn't always go your way. So what kind of advice do you give the player who's having a rough go of it?
I used to have a little notepad that I remembered, and on it was stop, take a deep breath, make a decision, and now go with it. Just re-wrap. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. Hops for birdie. I'll leave it short. Wow. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. So, today, a round of 76. Well, Frank, as we put a wrap on the day, it was plain to see he just didn't have his best stuff, but that's golf, and there's always tomorrow.
Yeah, the beauty of this game, you're rated by your best and your worst golf. Today's not, I don't think, a fair assessment of how good a player he is, but we'll see down the line exactly whether he learns from this or this becomes